All right, so I pulled the plugs out of the Ford Ranger. So the other day, you guys may or may not remember, but I went to two-step coulter plugs over the original heat range, and so the truck's been kind of misfiring under boost. So I didn't gap these plugs in, I just kind of dropped them in, but I pulled them out to inspect them to see. And so what I'm doing is what's called basically a plug chop. And so what you do is you do like a pull, and once you do the pull, you got to shut it off immediately. And what we're going to be looking for is any signs of knock. And I don't see any metal sparkles. So normally under a light, and my flashlight's on, you may not see it because it is sunny outside and here in Texas. But the ground strap looks normal, and with the light on it, you don't see any sparkles. I don't know if you guys can see it on the phone or not, but I'm just shining my light and I'm inspecting them. So it actually looks like it's burning a little bit on the rich side, but the good news is that we don't see any sparkles. So we're actually not seeing any, it doesn't seem like we're seeing any knock actually. This one doesn't seem like it's burning right though in comparison. So here it is side by side, and you can see that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna check the gap on these, and then I'm gonna bring the gap down and then try again. So what we're experiencing is basically what we call spark blowout, basically. And think about it this way: if you got so much air and fuel, you're basically putting out the spark on the spark plug. Think about it if you've got like a lit match and you just instantly dump 5 gallons of fuel on it, it's not going to ignite. All right, so I've got my feeler gauge here, and this is 0.035, and that's what the gap is on this plug here. So we're going to bring this down to like 0.028. 0.028 is kind of like the default that we use on like a lot of things, actually, basically any NA to turbo conversion. You really don't want to bring your gap down if at all possible. The reason is that the tighter the gap, the worse it's going to be at idle. So you really want to find the lowest gap that you could potentially find, but we're going to bring this down to the 0.028, like I said, which is kind of like our default. All right, guys, so the new spark plugs are in, and the truck actually seems a lot happier. It's obviously not at op temp yet, but even like the light pulls here, so before, if you got into any type of boost, whether it was 1 or 2 psi, it would be really upset. So now we know that it's something that's ignition related. So gap and the spark plugs seem to have made the difference, but again, you know, we still haven't done any wide open throttle pulls. So I don't know if it's actually, you know, like, I don't know if the problem is actually completely solved. The problem is that we could gap it even further from the 28 to the 25, but any further than that, I don't really trust it. And that's the thing. If we gap it that far just to run 5 pounds of boost, what happens when we turn it up to 7 or 8? You know, you really can't gap it any further than that. So an ignition upgrade is going to be required. So we're good for now. I'm gonna let it get up to op temp, and then I'm gonna try it again and see what happens. Unfortunately, I couldn't record it, but mixed bag. We were able to get up to 5K, but after that it started spitting and sputtering again. So it just tells me that the factory ignition coil or the spark plug wires is not up to the task. So I'm gonna have to call the owner now, let him know, and then tell me what he thinks about it. But unfortunately, it looks like for this one, we're definitely going to have to upgrade. But I'm really happy that we made some type of progress, and we are definitely getting there.